Hey guys, so today we will be talking about Apache POI. So with this Apache POI we can handle Microsoft XLS or XLSX file. Okay, so we'll understand this like what API we'll use for this to handle the Excel, okay, or Microsoft Excel. Okay, so here when we talk about .xls, we use a file or we use a API which is a HSSF API we use this. And when we are dealing with a file which is a XLSX, then we use a class which is a XSSF API. Okay, so the latest version which we use on Excel, which is this one. Okay, and previously we were using this one, which is started from 1997 to 2003, right? So even so, when I say when we are dealing with Excel sheet or file, we'll be dealing with the HSSF API, and when we are dealing with the .xlsx, then we'll be dealing with the API which is XSSF API. All right. So here, let's say if I go to my Excel. So here, if I open this one and if I try to save this, it will tell you the extension as well. So here it's a xlsx. Okay, so for this now with this diagram you will be sure that you know which API we have to use. So this API we have to use. All right, and if you suppose you are having a file which is a this one, so it's Excel 97 2003 workbook, then you have to use your API which is HSSF API. All right, so this Apache POI is basically used to handle a Microsoft Excel or XLS file, okay, using a Java code. You can download this POI jar files from your websites. So let's say if you want to download, you can go to, so if you want to download, you can go to Apache POI-apache.org download file, and you can download this one from here. So you can download tar and zip file from here, and you will be getting all the jar file inside it. Okay, so let's come here. So to deal with any sheet, to work on any sheet or to work on any Excel sheet, right, or workbook, what you need actually. So first of all, we need to create a workbook, and then we need to create a sheet. We have different sheet here, so we need to create a sheet as well, and then we have to create a row. Okay, so these are the row for me. Okay, you need to create a row, and then we have to create a column. Here we call this column as a cell. So this is one cell for me, this is another cell, this is the cell for me. Let's say if I talk about this cell, the position of this cell will be a 0th of 0. Okay, if I talk about this one, cell position will be 0th of 1, and if I talk about this one, it will be a 0th of 2. But if you come here, my row will be changed to 1 now, and index for column will be a 0. If I come here, it will be 1 and it will be 1, and if I come here, it will be 1 and it will be 2. Right, so this is how we work with sheet. All right, so let's do one thing. let's start writing one program. Let's write one program and we'll look into that, how we can create one file, how we can read the file, how we can put the data into sale. All these things we'll look into that now. All right. So let's say if you come here on your Eclipse, I'll be creating my one project here, which is data driven. All right. So this is the one project I have created here. And in this, if I come here, I'll create one package. You can give any name here. Okay. Data driven. All right. And I'll create one class here. Okay. So this is my class. Now I'll create one method, main method here. Okay. All right. So now what I have to do here is discuss that if suppose you are dealing with the XLSX file, then you have to use this API. So first of all, this is a project for me. I need to import all my jar file here. Okay. So to get the jar file, this is the location. You need to download all this jar file from here. Okay. I have already downloaded it. So I will be importing. I'll come here. I'll come to build path, configure build path, and then I'll be selecting class path and add external jar, and I will be importing all my POI jar file here. All right. Now it's done. Apply. All right. So now what I have to do? My all jar file is imported now. And let's start now working on this Excel sheet. So I'll be creating object for my XSSF workbook, and I'll be creating an object for that. So it's a workbook, and all right. So here I have to come and I have to import this from my org Apache POI. Okay, I just imported that now. It's edit. Now let's talk about the sheet. So when you talk about the sheet, where do you have this sheet? You have this sheet under a book, right? This is your workbook, and under that you are having different sheets, right? So for that, what you have to do, for sheet, you will be calling a class which is SSF sheet, and you can give any name here, any reference variable you can create here. And then I said this sheet is part of workbook, so you will be using this reference variable. You will say create sheet. So now your sheet is created. You can give any name to this sheet. Let's say you want to give a name first sheet. That's fine. You can give this name. You can give any name there. All right. So we need to import this sheet as well, and it will again come from the POI jar file. All right. This is done. Now what we have to do? We have to create a row. Okay. So we'll say row 0, and where we have row, we will be having row into a sheet, right? If you say this is the sheet, and in this sheet we have row, right? So we need to use a reference variable which we have sheet 0 dot. Now create row. Created row now. Okay, so we can say this is the row which is a 0. So which row? This is the first row. This complete row will be a 0 for me. All right. So now what I have to do here, I have to create my cell. Okay. you have to import Apache POI from here. Done. Now you have to create a sale. So for sale, it will be sale, and where your sale is now. So your sale, this is my row. This entire is my row. This sale, this is the sale. Where you are having this sale? On row. Okay. So obviously you have to use your row. So you will be saying sale a row and create sale. So now row is 0 and sale is also 0, which will, this is the sale, it will, this is the sale which we are talking about here now. So it's a 0 0. If I give another one, let's say I will just copy and paste this one, and if I come here, if I say sale B, okay, if I give this one, if I give 1 here, so it will be 0 row and sale will be 1. So I'm just talking about this one, 0 and 1. Okay, so row will be 0 but sale will be 1. Okay, so need to import this. Let's import this now. All right, so it's done. Now what I want, I need to connect with the string. Okay, so to write something in sheet, we need a file output string. Okay, so before that, let's do one thing. Let's write something there in the sheet. So we know this now, this A belong to 0 0 and B belong to 0 1. So we can say cell A dot set value. What I want to have a string value there. Okay, I can say first cell, and if I want another one, I can say cell B dot set value. I will again go with the string. Okay, and will be writing a second cell. All right, so I here on the 0th 0th 1 0 0, it will be first, and second it will be 0th 1. All right, so this is there. Now we need to write this thing in a sheet. Okay, I didn't mention any sheet location as of now. I didn't create anything actually, so we need to create. So for that, we're connecting with a string. To connect with the stream, what we're gonna do, we'll say file is a class. We'll create one variable of that. We'll say file and done. Okay, we need to import this one. So file will come from a java.io. Okay, still it's showing you error that it need a some string. It need a path, right, where we want to create our file. So what we can do, we can have a path. So let's say this is my desktop. I can have this path, right? This path. All right. So this path I'll take from here, and I'll be passing this path here, and I will give the name of sheet, which is a my Excel fourth dot xlsx. Okay, it's done. So my file will be created. Now I need to write in this file. File is created. I need to write, right? So I'll be using file out string, and I'll be creating object of that string and say file dot out dot string, dropping string here. Then I will import this one, which is also coming from java.io. Okay, all right, it's done. Now here it need a reference variable, so we need to use this if. All right, so here we need to read. Okay. If I come here, it will throw you error that suppose the file is not there. what is the case. So we'll use a throw declaration. We'll click on that. It's added there, file not found exception. Okay, and now we have to write into a workbook. So it's a workbook. So I'll be copying this one dot, we have to write into workbook. All right, FO will be coming the FO. Okay, and if I come here, it will again throw here that, so this is the IO exception. Okay, and we'll be closing FO dot close. Right, and we'll print one simple statement here, which will be like file created. Right, let's try to run this and we'll see how whether it's creating any file or not. So it says the file is created. Let's see the file my Excel 4 on the desktop. So this 4 is created here. Let's say if I open this one, say cell 1 and first cell and the second cell is created now, and we have just put the value there in the cell. But let's say I want to create a multiple cell and multiple row. What I can do here? So for that we can use the for loop. So let's say if I come to my sheet here, so instead of this one, we have created our sheet, we have created our workbook. Now we will remove this one cell from here. All right, and here if you talk about this one, we'll write one for loop. So we'll say integer. Okay, we'll write for loop is rows. It started from 0. Okay, and then rows equal to row plus plus. All right, so this is done. Now we can do one thing. We can put this row creation where we are creating a row inside this loop. And instead of this 0, we will not give as a hard-coded value there. We'll be just putting as a row. Right? So right now the row will be a 0, which is because this is right now we are having 0 here. All right. Now we have to create a cell as well. So inside of this for loop, we'll have again one more for loop. So it's a 4 columns. So it started again from 0. Okay, and then we'll say columns less than equal to or less than 10, and then calls plus plus. All right, and here we need to have a integer here. So it's done. All right, so now we can have this code where we are creating our cell inside of this for loop. Okay, so instead of this one, what we can do, we can say cell. Okay, cell row. Okay, and let's remove this one. Let's have a unique. So it's row and row, and this cell we can put as a column. All right, it's done. Now we need, so row 10 column is created. Okay, now we have to put the data into that cell. So what we can do in that, so we will be just copying this one. Okay, and we'll put inside of this cell. All right, and instead of this one, if you want, you can put same in there, or if you want to put a different value, you can say set value. I will remove because it's now cell, it's not cell A. Okay. So we're calling one method from a math class and we'll change into an integer. So it's math dot random. Okay, so it will give you the number which is a 0.20 or any value, right? So 3 something like that. But here what we're gonna do, we will divide this with the 100. So it will be 100. So we are dividing with this 100. So now your response will be 20, 23, a random number it will generate for you. All right. So done. Now we don't need this one. And again, same thing we have to follow here. We have to connect with the stream, file output stream, which is for writing inside a file. All right. So this is there. Now let's try to run the same code. What last time we just created manually two index, two row, one row and two cells. But here we are creating a 10 row and 10 cells. So if I run this now, it says file is created. Because what will happen, as soon as the row will be 1, the column will go with the 10 columns or 10 cell. Again, after it's less than 10, it will, as soon as it will be 10 here, the column will be 10. It will go to the first for row. It will be now 1. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. It will work here. So let's go and let's check the file here. I will go to same file, and if I open this one, see, so we have 10 cell and we have 10 row. So this is how we can create our row and cell using a POI, Apache POI. All right. So this is how we can work. Right. All right. So this is what we have for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So this file output stream is for writing, and there's a one more which we have here is like a file input stream is belong to reading. So when you want to read your sheet, you have to use this class. Okay. So as of now, we are just writing into a sheet, and that's why we have used a file output stream class, and we created an object for that, and we whatever I want to write, I can write into a sheet. All right.